I'm streaming now. So just for the benefit of Foul and Go Up because they're late or whatever, I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
So you started off with Pharmacy. So this is the Shengu composition, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so the Pharmacy and their main objective is they're roaming and they're looking for direct hits on the back line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not per se backline, but they basically want to make as much damage as possible in the shortest amount of time. Like the main win condition of this Shengu comp is an EMP barrage, which go clean things up.
The reason why I say that is because the other DPS needs to know what the other DPS is doing. So either because Farah's got, with her high rate of fire now, she's got a lot of shield pressure. So she's either focusing her attention on the main tanks, or because we're probably going to be going up against goats here, or she's trying to break up the back line. So it's one or the other. I don't think that you can really just say that because a lot of the time the other DPS won't know positionally where the Farah is.
So in this case, the Farah is more focused on the largest group of people, and if that's the backline, that's well and good and said, but it is just dishing out as much direct hits as possible on the most people as possible. That's why I said it's more of a roaming thing. And if someone gets low by a rocky shot, like a Zen...
But roaming's to do with positional, because I was asking you about where it's supposed to be positioning. Damage and positioning are very different in this game.
Well, has any... Let's see... I don't suppose you've actually seen the thing, right? If you're asking, but... the Farah is basically just always positions right on top of the team. You can play really aggressive and use your E to quickly get out and heal back up and then go back in. Like you are not in a specific spot. You're just right on top of everyone.
So what's the other DPS playing?
That's usually a Sombra. And the Sombra is... So Sombra, basically the primary job of Sombra is just farm tanks for EMP. Mainly D.Va. And get this as quick as possible. What makes the secondary win condition almost is Farah hitting a direct rocket on like a Zenyatta or a Squishy. And this goes so fast that it isn't really able... You aren't really able to communicate it. But if you as Sombra see that happens, that's your main focus in that case. It's just both Farah and Sombra are farming tanks and doing as much damage as possible to get this win condition of EMP barrage. Then you have the D.Va Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball is kinda the main disruptor, as Wrecking Ball a lot with the slam. Sorry?
Who's he coordinating with?
Let's see, what is it? Mainly Farah, actually.
Okay. Yep. So Farah and Wrecking Ball need to know what each other are doing then.
Yeah. So as the Farah is farming, she will get focused down, and you all know that if goats focus something down, it should die. So the Wrecking Ball is there to do as much disruptive work as possible. Just I'm using this slam shield thing to put people up on the air, which makes it both easier for the Farah to hit shots, as well as for the Sombra to get out like an easy hack or like burn someone down. After that, the ball usually goes out to a safe distance again in ball form, just to get another sling going in.
Yeah. So
D.Va is mainly there for protection.
Need to be very coordinated with each other then.
Yeah.
Whereas the off support and the Sombra can just pretty much please themselves.
Yes. This is like a variation on the like the 3-2-1 comms or even quick play comms. It is.
Hello. Sorry.
It's okay. You're not the latest. Go it. So,
wait, really?
Yeah. So Foul's actually the latest. So
I didn't see the time.
No, it's fine.
It's
So
the same time every practice. It's always,
Oh, okay.
or 7
It's
FPS.
way more.
Sorry.
It's way more of a popping off comp than a hard strategy comp. But yeah, if you
Just before we carry on, we've already gone quite in depth into explaining the mechanics of how this Gengu, whatever it's called, composition works. So you're gonna. I'm not expecting Ink to start again. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to watch this afterwards to understand it, because it's important, because it's understanding your role in it. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
basically watch like any Chengdu Hunters game, and you'll figure out like how they play against gods quite quickly. It is basically be as disruptive as possible and have like it is very much a pop off type of gameplay. It's way more skill based, way more individual skill, and making clutch plays than it is like gods strategy wise.
And on which type of map did they play that? Everything. Everything, yeah. So how did they like manage some Genji or like Graviton or things like that without train subbit?
So they didn't really care about gravitons because everyone is somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, it's already split.
Yeah, like almost all the graphs are solo graphs.
Well, I suppose they might get the pharmacy in there, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you hit like a direct graph on a Pharah or something, yeah, you can. But you won't be able to get like 3-4 man graphs at all, as everyone is super split.
Okay.
the Genji one as well. I think Sombra is almost a counter to Genji anyway in itself, so I think that will work quite well. You know, Dragon Blade, just EMP, and then he has to waddle around.
Yeah, so what you will see is that if the other team switches to dive in response, they switch to goats. Like that is true. Dive is strong against this kind of comp.
So this is mainly a counter goats, something like that?
Yeah, this is more of an... Yeah, you could say counter goats.
Okay.
Why would you play this over quad DPS?
Sustain base. Well, it has more clear win conditions. Quad DPS is way more hoping that you get a lucky kill. This has like a clear barrage EMP win condition as well as actual tanks. So you have the ability to stop the payload for a bit or actually control the point for a little bit. The reason quad DPS isn't always picked against goats is basically because Overwatch is an objective-based game. And 4 DPS characters on a small point are going to lose against a bunch of tanks.
Because it's a lot more about the topography of the map and where they can set up the quad DPS situation than it is, you know, just playing quad DPS all the time. I agree in that respect.
Yeah, so what you see them do is run like a Widowmaker instead of a Diva in things like 2CP or Point Ace. Then you have the ability to only use a ball. One of the reasons they put the Diva in there in the first place is just DM, because even if you EMP barrage, there is still what the fuck is this? Group invites. Even if you EMP barrage, like people can still suit this nice Pharah, so DM needs to be there. Yeah, that's just one of the comps that is currently played in Overwatch League, but it isn't in this patch. It isn't nerfed, so that's why I brought it up. That it is a way you can go. If like going more the dive route. As for the rest, I personally think that goats is still strong. Maybe goatsing aggressively is nerfed way harder than goatsing passively due to Lucio's speed amp nerfs. So playing more around the shield and on like the tinier things, like basically building ults and using those instead of going all in, is going to be stronger than going all in across the board now. As for the rest, like, if you all read the patch notes or not.
Will make goats teams just play closer to each other. That's what I would do. Don't really see how it changes the engage, because you just play closer and then you move more aggressively against another goats team. So you just end up being closer.
Goats is always kind of close.
I know, that's what I mean.
It is,
For me, it
yeah.
doesn't make any difference. It just means that you're just going to play even closer.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Because if you've got a Sombra Goats composition, then you're just going to end up playing Sombra Goats closer. If you've got Zen Goats, you're just going to end up playing closer because you just want to be closer to the discorded target. It's just...
This, in a way, it is true, but
the only thing when I think it does change is probably adding Goats, but you know, that's pretty redundant now anyway.
so the thing is, like, as for example, a defensive team playing closer means that they have to walk out in the open for a short amount of distance.
Not necessarily, just you play different parts of the map differently. Just play areas where you can engage on them as they come in.
Wait, I don't think we're on the same page here. What I'm getting at is that it is easier to defend if another team is coming towards you,
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
like hyper aggressively, because the speed, it takes longer for them due to Lucio's nerfs. So taking a little bit longer to get to the other team, playing a bit more ult wise.
Two goats teams. If you've got two goats teams, it doesn't really matter how far they're away from you.
It kind of depends on what kind of map, because defenders always have an advantage. Like, if you hold around a corner, like the team that has to go for the alleyway is always in the disadvantage because they're out in the open like that.
Yeah, but
They cannot hide people behind corners.
The whole advantage of goats is you stacked on top of each other and you're utilising all the auras so that you can rotate them. So, them being put together...
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
They got a Zarya. Hey, Maz.
Like for example, imagine like, I don't know, there's a long alleyway and you have nothing to hide, like you can't really hide. If you
what we're talking about is goats versus goats.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you can still get shield pressure while they're trying to come in, and since you have less shield, your shield gets broken faster and you die way faster.
So why would they have more shield pressure than you?
Because
you
you're
can
in the corner.
use...
Just let Mez speak.
Because you're like staying in the corner and you can hide more easily than them when they're in the alleyway and they have nowhere to.
But if you hide, then you can't shoot the shield. So how would you put more pressure on their shield than you're receiving?
I get your point. I get your point.
Exactly. For me, it doesn't change anything. It really doesn't. So in a goats versus goats situation, like, logically, there's no difference. I mean, there might fundamentally be a different play which comes out because of Baptiste, but because he's got so many fucking auras, so that's the only way I can see this goat situation changing personally. Because that drone thing is ridiculous. Plus, you know his secondary fire, that's his heal, right? So what radius does that heal over?
It's actually kind of short, but I'm not like, the thing is, I'm not sure. I feel it feels way too slow in a way for tanks.
Let's just have a look at it, 'cause I don't actually know what the healing ratio is.
I think it's like 70 grenade per grenade actually, so it's quite a bit. But
Yeah, and if that's across, like, obviously, you know, whole team, then that's pretty big.
no, like more like 2 or 3 players from a team.
Yeah,
Like you-
it depends, because for me it depends on the radius. big enough, then it's worth it. If it's not, then it's the radius that's key.
It feels like 3-ish meters.
Well, 3 meters is pretty big. Biotic launcher. Oh, it doesn't tell you the fucking radius. Nice one, Blizzard.
No. Of course it doesn't.
You another one. This one's usually better. Right, here we go. Feature shot damage. Second fire. Here we go. Yep, 3 meter radius. That's pretty big. One, and it's 1.1 every 0.8 seconds. So.
You mean Baptiste?
Yeah.
3 meters. What? That's bigger.
Yeah, that's big. 3 square meters is big.
That's about Anna's Nate actually.
Yeah.
I think.
Let's have a look at
And Anna's Nate is already fucking ridiculous sometimes.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, is that I think that kind of, it's worth trying, but just mainly because, but the thing is though, is you gotta like, yeah, the problem is his ult is pretty redundant in goats, because you've hardly got any ranged,
Actually, it allows for a lot of things. Mainly killing through trance.
yeah, but what if I was the enemy team, as soon as I saw him use his ult, I'd just move away from it. And you haven't really got anything that can fire through it, like Sombra and Zarya's beam, does that, or is it only projectiles? What does it cover?
I think it's only projectiles and hit scan. I don't think Zarya's beam gets increased. But this is right, like Zarya's right click does, for example.
Yeah.
Fire strikes do, Zen orbs do.
Yeah, and his orbs just got a boost as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's like, it's not a boost, it's exactly the same, I think, 0.25.
No, they got a damage boost.
Yeah, but Discord got a nerf.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with his balls, is it?
Of course it does.
What?
Like his...
I'm talking about projectiles that go through it. I'm not talking about whether it's discorded or not.
Alright, so that means it goes from 48 times 2 times 1.3. 1.25 right now is 120 damage per body shot for Zen. And it used to be 46 times 2 times 1.3 is 119. Actually, it doesn't. It's exactly the same with this. Like, Zen's damage is exactly the same. Yes, you do 4 more damage.
I'm talking about the Discord. I'm talking about just the balls, because that's what's going to be doing damage to like the transcendence. It's going to be doing to the because you can't discord just a transcendent. I'm losing my train of thought now. The Rhine, because when you use that, you're just going to be focusing down the Reinhardt, aren't you, destroying the shield?
Wait, in a graph?
No. What are you? This is getting all mixed up now. What I'm talking about is his basic attacks. We're talking about what works with the window of opportunity, right? We're listing up the things, and I'm saying that it'd be even better because then he can use his because he's got a higher damage on his basic attack. I didn't say anything about a graph. No one said anything about a graph. Why would you? You've lost me completely now.
I said the whole idea about that ult is that you can kill through trance in, for example, graphs.
Oh, I didn't hear the graph bit.
Anyway, like, that's what I see that ult used for. Like, comboing with graphs, making Zen headshots insta-kill, squishies, making fire strikes do 200 damage. That's like those edges that you can actually use, like, get good value out of graphs without using bombs.
better than a Zen? I don't think so.
I wouldn't put Baptiste in for Zen. I would put Baptiste in for Brick probably.
Hmm.
Perhaps even no, not Lucio.
Yeah, I can
No.
see it maybe for a Brig, but the Brig's rally feels more useful because it's a fixed window as it even says there. So unless you
Yeah.
get it, whereas rally can be used in so many different situations. For chasing down, for just armoring up and for engaging, it just feels better. Feels kind of crap actually the more I think about this window of opportunity.
It makes it's static gameplay basically.
Mm.
Like you'd use it like, for example, when someone is coming through an alleyway and they're at the point where they have to commit.
Like in
Like
King's
those
Row or
come,
something, but
yeah.
still feels too sort of narrow in terms of the situations that you can use it in. Anyway, I think we've come to the conclusion anyway that I think Baptiste is not gonna fit the goats.
I don't know.
I've actually tried it and it works. Baptiste instead of Break worked surprisingly well, as they play in the same range as Zen. So even if like the quote-unquote opportunity isn't there for the entire team, his shield thing
Yeah, the
in
shield
front of the Zen alone is like value.
Again, it's static though, isn't it? And the whole point of goats is that it's very mobile.
Well, if a team like puts up a shield in front of a Zen in the backline, you cannot hard engage.
So if you transcend with the drone with your mortality field, then that should theoretically stop pretty much anything, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but this immortality field is 200 HP.
Where does it say that? It says, oh, health. No, that's the health of the actual drone. So you just shoot the drone.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just shoot the drone.
And would you reckon the Trance? No, Trance wouldn't. Would it heal that? Because Trance heals a turret, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It's an object, so I don't think it's ill set.
Okay.
That'd be pretty broken, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you might be able to time it for bombs and stuff, but yeah, in general, it's just gonna get destroyed.
I suppose the Rhine shield, but I don't know.
Well, it's a bit like
It's too high, isn't it? Would
Yeah.
Would it be too high for the Rhine shield?
Yeah, it's way up.
yeah, it's way up,
Yeah. It is.
like actually way up.
Yeah.
It also needs line of sight, just so you know you cannot hide it indoors or something.
Back
We
in the
tried
day
that.
with Lucio. Alright then. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys can try it if you like, but I don't really like. Where does he sit in it, and what is he doing in comparison to a Brig? It just feels because the second highest priority target usually in a Goats composition from the Rhine is the Brig for pretty good reason. So you can try it, I guess.
I think like Baptiste would be good, but that would be Zen with Anna. Because like you don't really need trends with the grenade, the Baptiste E, like the thing that gives an aura to everyone, and with Lucio's ambit up, like it's basically a mini trance with the grenade.
That's 100 plus. What is a nade? It's like 70, right?
Yeah, but it both ills.
It's like half a trans, I think.
Seriously?
Yeah, with amp it up.
Okay, I thought it was much higher than that.
What's that?
Yeah,
I mean-
a nade with Baptiste E and Lucio ambit up ELs in the because we don't need a trance if it's like as good as a trance.
So you got regenerative burst, which is 30 per second and 150 overall. Then you got nade, which is what? Like I can't remember what it is.
It is 60 healing.
Yeah, Yeah, but it amplifies, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
Yeah, it
so
does.
90.
yeah.
So it's 90 divided by 0.8 is 112.5 per second. Plus Lucio, which is 75, is 187.5. So
It's nearly there.
yeah, you could add 45 of Baptiste's ults, and then like Misk Anna heals, you could get up to like 250-ish. So you can get pretty close, but it does mean you blow like every single cooldown you have.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, other than trance.
it's kinda worth it.
Yeah, because even if they use grav and then something else like whatever X, so they have to use 2. The thing is though, is that would they? Suppose that if you were going up against that composition, all you'd say is that you'd just grav and then slam, I suppose, or just slam in first place.
Hmm.
So you'd still, it's just that if I saw that a couple of times, I would just grav and then just slam. But yeah.
And even then, like, if the other team runs a Baptiste and puts down a shield, it doesn't matter if you trance or not, or have like the Anna heals and stuff.
Yeah, it's what you get out of it, isn't it? So, like, I suppose, if you were playing a composition that could return fire, then if they grab, then you use all of those abilities, and then you have window of opportunity, and then you fire back at them, But why would you be in a situation with a DPS-oriented team like that, where you're all getting grabbed at the same time, like you do with Goats compositions? You don't really, do you? So just doesn't feel like I don't really know what to do with this. Like you say, there's a static compositions there, the bunkers. I can see that there, definitely. So that's some power sanctums and stuff like that, but I'm not sure I see it being used anywhere else.
So one of the reasons it worked when I tried it is basically because he builds ults every single fight.
Is it, or does he get like a lot of ult generation, does he?
Yeah, you get a fuck ton. So what we do is literally just put the shield down in front of a Zen and allow Zen to just go mad.
Mes,
With-
God damn it!
What?
Why do we have to make you a main tank?
I don't know.
Uh,
You tell me.
Because all main tanks are freaks.
Yeah, like,
Exactly why.
Casino apparently is, like, was it Genesis Esports, which is like a 4K team. I think apparently he's thinking about joining them now. So Eaton didn't work out with the contenders team apparently.
too bad.
Never mind. He is good enough, but just whatever.
Nah, like, if you look at numbers, it's like 240 damage for a single headshot for him Zen, which is insanity.
Yeah. Do we have to run a main tank?
You make it sound like I'm a good Zen.
You
Yep.
are a good Zen. You're a phenomenal Zen.
No, I'm not.
I think your Lucio's a bit better, but I think you're a very good Zen.
Okay.
In comparison to me. Okay.
Oh, that explains everything.
Okay. So, alright. I mean, in terms of Nepal, I think that we could probably go back in and look at Nepal now.
Nepal. Oh, we all love that map. We went it like 3 fucking times over, and we still don't get this map. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the reason why I want to go, because you haven't gone over it with me, and I want to make sure that everyone understands it properly. That's the reason why I stressed the positional and win condition element of this video, so people can go back and watch it and know what they're supposed to be doing. know if I selected the right map then. Yes, I did.
Traveling to Nepal.
Runner, are you in?
I'm here.
So good, you agree? So is the map good? We're in Shrine as well.
What did we say? I didn't hear you.
Speed boost! Come on, let's bring it together.
Okay, invite me.
List or someone who's got runner on the list, invite him. Has anyone got runner on their list?
Probably in recent.
Coming. Wait, this is an update?
Invite me.
Okay, so just send me
Traveling to Nepal.
It's on general.
Anyway, so over here, Sombra isn't just insane because you have all these different all the different approach angles. Sorry? So over here, let's probably keep waiting. Over here, I'd say just put either like Chengdu comp is again like really strong here because well Central Tower, which is always good for Faras to just move around in. There is enough openings for Sombras to just get around and always be on some kind of flank, as well as enough spots for balls to just distract people and push them out of the center column.
So in terms of the Shengu comp, is there any particular areas that they want to control?
So what they do not want is the enemy team going somewhere where their Farah Sombra don't have value. So they don't want teams to get inside, basically.
Yeah, so you want to hold quite aggressively.
Yeah. Well, in this case, it doesn't really matter if they're on the point because the point is so open. Like you can shoot down from fire, so like over here, it wouldn't really matter. And around the point is enough grapple spots for Hammond to do his thing and boot people out of the point, separate them, because separated players is just also something you can collapse on and play well. As for like defending, it is a little harder because you cannot really hold the point against gods. You really have to make sure that you hit some kind of pick or like enough ult percentage that you can take the point back as soon as possible. As like how do you say it? Like ball can contest for a bit. Obviously, Diva can hop in and out. Obviously, but like you don't have the massive sustain of gods because your mercy is mainly gonna be with the Farah, and your other support is Zen, who is like balancing between healing and doing as much damage as Zen can do. So
It relies on the rest of the team creating quite a diversion for them as well. It's just going to be so easy to chop up into pieces.
yeah. So Zen plays, I'd say, relatively safe in this case. Obviously needs to be close to Mercy, but the thing is, if the Ghost team tries to engage on Zen, that leaves an enormous opportunity for the Farah and Sombra to do massive amounts of damage.
So do you think Zen should hold high ground?
Yes. Like, Zen would be holding like more this kind of angle where ball is, or more like the coast angles.
Problem is it leaves him vulnerable to boots over there.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't have to be power or they probably will be on Lucio, let's face it. So
Yeah.
but again Lucio's quite slow now, so Zen's got a lot more of an opportunity to smash his face in.
Actually, no. Lucio is not slower.
I thought the speed boost was lowered.
Yeah, but they increased his wall ride speed.
Yeah, but if he's on coast, you can't wall ride onto the. Well, I suppose you can jump off the wall to him.
Yeah, you use walls to build speed. So Lucio isn't that much slower, but once he hits the ground, yeah, he will be slower.
Where would you wall ride off to keep him at coast?
You take like this angle.
How quick does he build his speed boost?
Like,
I
I think-
still think top is safer for him, but
I'm actually not. So the thing is, if you play more in the open ground, like over here, actually just plain old here, there's a much more like open space to be covered, and that is what the Shengdu comp wants. Like if you take high ground, then Diva can just easily get up there and back down to the team.
I don't know, I suppose, as runner, where would you like to set up if you were going to set up with Zen with the composition that the Shungu composition?
Which map?
In
Because
one
I'm looking
situation.
in.
This is Nepal Sanctum, not Sanctum, sorry, Shrine.
Shrine, so
It
with
depends. I would play with my team.
You can't play with your team though.
Yeah, this.
I'm not sure.
Renner, are you listening? Because
Yeah, we're listening.
sure that that's what we've just been talking about. There's the whole thing that me and Ink have just been talking
Be right
about.
back.
Is the Zen can't play with the team. So why would you prefer to play with this composition rather than from the points which me and Sven have just been talking over, which is Ink? Runner.
Wait a second, I'm increasing your volume
So what
to
I was
maximum.
saying is that what me and Ink were just talking about were the different areas where you could play as a Zen. Okay, so we said coast and we said high ground, and also Sven just said main entrance. And then I asked you.
I usually play on coast with Zenyatta
Okay, but
if it comes
so
to.
why would you prefer to play on the coast with this composition?
I mean, because if I will be on the high ground, I won't have anything to do if someone jumps on me. And the coast is the most comfortable place where I have the most vision on my team and on the enemy
Yeah, I
team.
agree that it's better vision on coast. Okay.
On high ground, they are very limited.
Yeah, it's much better actually, isn't it, in terms of vision? I've seen a bit, Jamie.
All right. Yeah, what? By the way, what I in general haven't really been talking about is the Diva in this comp, but the Diva is... Okay, Trini. The Diva is mainly just peel, like peel. You don't want to... You basically don't want to be close, you don't want to, like, get damaged too much, because your healing resources are kind of limited.
I think the only problem, just finish off on that point with the Zen, is that the problem with coast is you can't really see onto point.
Yes.
So that's the only one. I mean, like, maybe if you're attacking, I think coast is better. And then if you're defending,
Elephants.
Yeah, maybe if you're defending, the high ground can be better.
On defense, I'd actually just start around Elephant and work from there back to coast.
Apagando las luces.
too close then. You're too close.
Mm,
You're way too close.
you,
You're so easy.
you can easily get away quick enough, especially with a bit of peel. It's like Shengu comp like punishes aggressiveness like that. So if they will get like a pick if they go for your Zen, or sorry, you will get a pick if like you're this hard engaged on your Zen.
The comp that you're talking about is the Pharmacy Sombra. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Pharmacy Sombra Ball
Hammond,
Diva.
Diva,
This one.
Mercy, yeah.
Mercena.
Amazon. It is like an alternative to goats, basically. Although
Yeah, I think
It's-
that it's better than Goat. I think that it has more potential than Goat.
it has more potential than goats. The thing is, it's so much harder to play against dive.
Yeah, if you play against Dive, it is gonna be hard. It would be hard.
Well, goats into dive is also a hard switch to make, so I guess that works out.
I mean, I think that Goats won't be in the meta after this patch. I think that it is weaker than before.
It is
I
gonna be
think that
weaker than before.
I think that the nerfs are pretty significant. That makes Goats not viable.
So
Makes you think that, what's in the patch notes you think is nerfed to that extent?
I think that the nerf for Lucio is pretty important, that you want to be fast enough or as fast as before. And the Zenyatta Discord, the 5% off is pretty... That's a lot of damage that you miss.
So what does the Lucio speed boost do to goats, which makes it weaker against which compositions?
That you have less mobility.
Yeah, but against which compositions?
I mean, the synergy, I think that it would be
Yeah, but
worse.
the point is, Runner, is that everything that it slows you down, everything that because you've slowed down it, the only thing it
Denied.
DPS and this Shenyu composition. If you're playing against its traditionally good things that it's good against, then it's still the same.
Maybe it's the same. I'm just predicting that it won't be in the meta. I'm not sure.
If we go into like Sanctum and you play against the bundle composition, it doesn't. That speed boost doesn't really change the outcome that much.
I'm not. Maybe that's true. It is probably true, but I just said my opinion.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that I want you to explain the opinion because I still don't fully understand what you think that the speed nerf is going to make it stronger against or weaker against.
I'm lagging. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you say?
No,
Sorry.
I'm just trying to get you to finish off your train of thought. So what is it that you think that Goats is going to be weaker against?
Zarya also is gonna do less damage because of her nerf. She's gonna be less time on 100 charges, so we will have less
Apagando las luces.
damage on goats. Zarya is pretty much the only DPS on goats, and she will be weaker. She won't be able to melt Reinhardt like before. But maybe that's... Maybe
Why
it will be the same.
wouldn't Zarya be on 100 charge all the time?
I think he's talking
Because of her
about
nerf.
the
nerf.
secondary fire.
Yeah, but that doesn't involve bubbles.
I'm not sure, maybe goats will be the same. I'm just trying to predict what's gonna be in the future. I'm not sure. But
Okay.
we will see.
Alright. It's, I know there's really a right or wrong thing here. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, ultimately, the people that are going to show us the way are going to be the Overwatch League level type contenders and whatnot. So we're just trying to theorize at the moment, ready, because those dipshits in Blizzard have decided to change everything just before we go into Open Division.
Yeah, I don't understand why they make these changes a day before. Yeah, they are idiots.
Yeah. So like when you. That's the reason I'm not trying to say that you're wrong, Runner, because I still don't know, to be honest with you, how much these changes really impact it at the level of play which is Overwatch League, because that's where it's exaggerated. You know, we won't know until we see that level of play, really, or you know, indeed whoever wins Open Division. Okay, let me get this to move to the next round, unless anybody wants to go over anything else from here. Take that as a no.
In general, I'd say if this Shangdu comp isn't really like this like the style of everyone's Jesus Christ English. If the Shangdu comp doesn't really work out playstyle wise, like Stormware Goats would be really good here.
Yeah.
Man, lucky day.
Traveling to Nepal.
God damn it.
Almost.
Traveling to Nepal.
God damn it.
One of these days.
Traveling
I thought
to
I was going to
Nepal.
go to Hollywood there for a second. Fuck my life.
Traveling to Nepal.
No.
You can just limit the valid control map, right?
No, that would be giving up.
Traveling to Nepal.
I've already invested too much. Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
PogChamp.
Remus wins again.
So over here, I still think Floats is by far the most strong comp, even after the nerfs. Maybe actually Baptiste Goats here.
That's what I mean. Like, this is the one only map that I've modeled. It's just these super boxed-in situations where it forces enemy teams to get into your window of opportunity, if that makes sense. So, and you can hold so aggressively with Baptiste as well. You can hold literally at there and use like fights, which is exactly where Goats would be as well. So, I don't know. That's what it feels to me. That this is probably if you're gonna play Goats,
Yeah, most likely Baptiste Floats in that case. Yeah.
but it's like where do you take the initial engagement? Where do you this is the point of this theory session. So
Yeah.
where do you push to? Where do you push? You know, what are you trying to achieve?
So very first fight, your default would be the high ground here.
What advantage does high ground give you?
Let's just, you know what? Let's just take Baptiste Goats as the example. This high ground would give you and Baptiste like this, the sidelines of the high ground onto the point. It would give you the cover you need, and it would also give you the fallback to like this corner, which allows you to shield yourself from the high ground itself, as well as more like that's the point using this angle in the corner.
The defensive support, attacking support.
Yeah, I put Baptiste together with Zen more in the background or high grounds, like. And Lucio would be more like the roaming support.
But it's still still not really too sure why you would pick high ground rather than pushing around the back end on that point. Because you're taking advantage of like close proximity for Azores because he.
If you want to go close proximity, why not run a break instead of Baptiste? Because break is going to be more effective close proximity than Baptiste is.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about controlling spaces.
Yeah, so you want to control the space that is. You want to control this high ground at first,
Yeah, but
in order to get your.
That's what I'm saying though, is that he's got offensive and attacking ability, so when he's over there, all he can do is shoot his gun. And what damage does he do?
Actually, quite a lot.
His assault rifle, but his assault rifle he does a lot of damage.
It is more of a tank buster though than squishies.
37.5 per shot. No, sorry, 12.5 per bullet, 37.5 per shot. And then with headshot, it's 7. So how much
Yeah.
is Zen's ball?
Check this out.
Zen's ball 46 damage.
46, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 60 with Discord, basically. But yeah, like with this more longer range style of guns, you want to rotate more around them. So if they take high ground, you do actually have to take the roll because this is your spot. In this case, you still put your Baptiste in here with your Zarya. Your monkey can use the point ankle to jump into their team while getting bubbled. From there, it is defense matrix. The other team is basically just gonna do the same. If they run, although if they see you run this and they have a brick, they will go into you way more aggressive. In which case, it is kind of paramount to take this angle and even rotate all the way around to just get back up.
Nepal is in the Overwatch division roster, is it?
Yeah.
Believe me,
Yeah. I think it's Nepal, Lijiang, and which was the other one?
Oasis.
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 I like it.
Bombs away!
But yeah, like in general here, I'd say point goes second, winning the fight goes first. Like, don't even bother going to the point unless you've won the fight.
Okay, and then you win the fight, when you win the fight, I should say, with a odd chap forehead. So, do you think, I don't know, do we want to try and control their entrance on the spawn, or not?
I would try to.
You could try to. Like, you can delay quite a bit with bubble, and then fall back But actually holding, like, right here, right now, isn't gonna work with floats. You need a little bit more space.
I think if you were playing Ryan, it would be a lot easier to control with a
Yeah, it will be easy to control. The problem is first fights. Because with a Ryan, you'll probably get booped off.
No, I'm talking about holding their, yeah, sorry, I was talking about holding the entrance.
Yeah, with Ryan holding the entrance would be easier. It's just that there is so much death zone here that I don't see Ryan stay on top that long.
And boops and where I mean the knockback got increased really hard.
Yeah, because they made that consistent, the knockbacks more consistent now, haven't they?
Yeah.
So Reinhardt won't last for long on the ground.
He's just dynamically worse. I'm just sort of thinking about where to defend from when he's got position. I suppose we could just try it today, on Thursday.
Yeah.
Times.
I guess, yeah.
Is there any questions about it?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay, so let's get so where are we trying to control and what are we trying to achieve?
We are trying to control the high bound, obviously.
Yep. Okay, so what happens after we control the high ground?
Then, if we get a pick, we can push into them and then go to point and then control their spawn.
So who engages on the point?
Once you get a pick, you can safely go.
So who engages on the point?
Ah, who? I mean,
Gonna help him, Jake?
the whole team goes to the point.
Hmm?
Where's Jake?
Are you gonna help him?
Uh,
Okay, Jig, what area are we trying to control first?
I mean the how can we spend it just where I am?
Yep. Okay.
I don't know.
Engage on point. So where
Yeah.
does it engage on point?
Where do we engage on point? Like just
Who?
who? The main tank? I mean. Hmm?
What about the rest of the team? What do they do?
So
We keep the healer backlane here.
So we've been talking, I'm just conscious of a very little input from Jig and
Hmm?
so what happens on the engagement?
Yes.
Mez?
I'm sorry I didn't follow anything. I think I didn't follow anything. I can't remember it because I didn't like watch anything, so it was harder to concentrate on it. So
Okay, do you want to tell
I don't visualize the map. Like, is it like still shrine? No,
No,
I don't think so.
This is Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Okay, so it's the one with the big pit. Yeah, now it's Sanctum. Okay, yeah, it was Sanctuary or something, I don't remember. But for... Is it the one with the big pit? Like...
The whole.
Okay. What was the comp? Goats? Yeah, I didn't... Bad discuss. Okay, I go left. Like, coast side.
Yeah, we'll go close. I mean, the baddies can just stay like in the backline.
Yeah, so that's
I mean, that depends about their comp. If that floats, he can't really stay alone. But if they don't,
where you're fighting, then you're almost they're almost forced to go on course.
Yeah, you want to force them into a position to go to point, I guess.
So
Because of Baptiste.
that's where that's going to be. The thing is as well is that you want them there because drone and everything.
you can throw it quite a bit.
Just try throwing it at the point, Jig.
It's a frisbee.
what? Sorry? Oh, the frisbee on point?
On the point. See ya.
Yeah.
Ultimate frisbee!
It's pretty
Exactly.
cool that you can throw it instead of putting it on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so aim it
Just-
at the middle.
Yeah. I just need my
Yeah, the cooldowns are insanely long.
yeah. On the middle,
16
like
seconds.
Yeah.
the feeling's a bit weird, but yeah.
That mystic ability.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I'm literally like aiming at the center, just at the center, but it goes so much far.
Compensate for it. That's what I'm trying to get you to do.
Like I'm just aiming here.
No, but I want you to compensate for it.
Yeah, it's probably like Junkrat. Like Junkrat, if you aim for the middle, it's just gonna drop down. So
Oh,
there's a physics. Like there's a physics to it. Just get it forward.
I mean, you can pretty much like you can launch that pretty much far. Like, I think I can. Yeah, can go. Yeah, can go very far. Oof. Easily.
No, you need to restart if you do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in general, like, oh,
Is it going to go on to a different map? If it does, I'm going to kill somebody.
yeah, it's gonna go on a different map, like guaranteed.
Hey!
No.
Remus wins again!
PogChamp.
Oh, speed boost is like useless now.
Oh, maybe I can make the game crash by spamming that.
Imagine dying.
So just come in and practice it.
Okay, what should I do? Just the middle? Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's easy. Just have to kind of jump up. Yeah, it's pretty easy. What? Yeah.
No, you don't want to throw it first. Because it doesn't prevent you from... Like, it has 200 HP, so if you throw it too or soon, it's just gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
And
What if
it leaves you with like 5% HP, so like even if it does something, they're just gonna die after anyway. So it's more like it's more like a safe button.
Just use it when you get like the.
You use it like when the Zarya bubble expires or something. And
Yeah.
what if you throw it here? Try to throw the immortality field here.
it needs line of sight. Don't think so.
Which we replace.
This is like a turret, so D.Va cannot eat it.
Do we replace the Batis for the Diana or for the Brigade?
The Brigade.
The Brigade. Okay.
So in general here, like if you engage on point, you still want your Zen Baptiste like more in the corner or high ground. You probably want your D.Va on the high ground hill as well, holding this window or this window. Then she still is in kinda. What the fuck, chick? Then she is still in like more or less range, but she doesn't pull as much aggro as to not get low. It also allows her to get back to the supports without using boosters to help a bit for peels. No, I wouldn't dive her in with the Winston. I'd leave her in the window. Maybe, like, you can use DM to protect a little bit, but I wouldn't dive in with Winston. You can run the Zarya. Like the Zarya, I would run over to the point. The Zarya. Yeah, but she doesn't need. Like, you go to a point once you win the fight. Like Zarya can work perfectly fine from here as well. Yeah. Like she can do damage all the way in a rotate.
Okay, wait a second. I'm gonna see it.
Like the beam will probably not be.
Guys.
I mean, it's more that Zarya has value when she's rotating. You don't want her up there the entire fight. Beam should be here, like where I'm standing. Oh.
But I have to be in the edge, so it's pretty dangerous.
No, at this point,
Nothing's gonna stop.
wait a second. Like, if you engage on a point, it's basically fight 1 already. So of course you have to charge.
Why, how would you fight before engaging with that composition?
Like, with,
You even said yourself that you're taking the background onto the point.
yeah.
Check this out.
Alright, so if they take the point route, you still have your Zen Baptiste over there doing fuck tons of damage, which isn't gonna win the fight per se, but it will help a lot. You can rotate your Winston Diva around, yes, that's true. But yeah, I guess what you're getting out. Leaving Zarya up there doesn't work. You need to have her rotate to the point.
So it just needs to be good coordinates. It's only the case if you're holding the team back why did you say you were holding the team back and
So I don't want the Diva to dive in with Winston right away, just so she doesn't get super damaged, like doesn't pull super much aggro. Because Diva's effective range works completely fine from like this window and rotating more to this edge. Just like Zarya, by the way. Zarya can perfectly work from here. You don't want Diva in the middle of all things, because then she's just gonna get demacked instantly.
the whole point of the priest that Diva dies is to damage and focus on the the reason why they're heads.
In goats, it's more protection from Diva, not really the you,
I don't get
she has the M. Also, like, she's more protecting the back, like the Zen Baptiste, than she is the Winston in this case. The Zarya is there to provide bubbles for Winston. Not in the initial engage, as like always in goats. So, alright, so in general, goats winning on dry engages is hard. So you will have to build for ults like the Vector Shield, which will be able to delete squishies with this, and like Graphs, which you can also just build. With Primal Rage, which is the main reason Winston jumps in the first place. Like, it's a win condition, for sure. Especially on this map. The Graph Bombs, like boops from Lucio, because Lucio will be here.
Check this out.
Zen right clicks, like just the standard goats win conditions.
None of those are standard goats. We're talking about engagement like that. So
In goats, engagement per se isn't the win condition.
So your win conditions are all ultimate based.
Yeah, but that's goats in the first place.
No, it's not.
Like, your
The win conditions, the auras, the rotations, and the movement. And then you have finishes, like for instance, you have Zarya, Zarya bombs, things like that. But fundamentally what makes goats work are the healing auras, the base, all the auras stacking up on each other. Rotations, focus, and be able to run over enemy teams.
yeah, in the end, if you play better, your Zarya will be
And that's what I'm talking about. Is
the
I
one.
don't see with the methodology that you're providing with that, how you as you say, without some ultimate.
It is.
There isn't a synergy with that approach, that tactic, to win without ultimates. Because an enemy's entity will explode or any engagement like that.
Yeah, but that's true for any gods team. Like,
So why would you run it then? Because you might as well play goats then. Because you're going to wait until you've got ultimates before you can take the point.
wait, Float says the exact same problem. That if you
Waiting for them to make a mistake, capitalizing.
Огонь по
and this
готовности!
isn't.
That's what I'm trying to say, Sven. There isn't anything here with the capitalizing. You're saying, because I'm trying to say that if you engage with the Diva and the Winston at the same time, then at least you have some focused DPS along with Baptiste and Zen. So you can delete people. But if you've just got a Winston going in on his own,
I was thinking you were talking about dry engagements, which you just shouldn't do. But yeah, of course you can. Like, we're not on the same page at all.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. So in general, you cannot hard engage until there's a situation where you can hard engage. Like if you.
That's not the same thing as a dry engagement. I'm saying that with the composition, the way that you've just described it, there isn't a situation where you're really capitalizing on them making a mistake. Okay, you get a right click with a Zen, okay, but there is no engagement on their mistake.
So if you get like right clicks with Zens, opportunities like this, a Winston that jumps in and actually gets someone low, yeah, and at that point your Diva can fly in and help. Your Zarya is already on the way on rotating probably, so your Zarya can have value. So at that point you walk in. Your Lucio will go with Winston anyway, so your Lucio is always gonna be up here to punish people that are too aggressive. Wait. Basically, what I meant to say is, like, as a Winston, you cannot dive into the enemy team and instantly think you get any picks like you do with a dive comp. Like, there needs to be some sort of mistake, of opportunity to do it with a full kill potential. Of like.
Okay, so what's your sort of interpretation of this comp and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think that actually floats. It could work even if the enemy team doesn't make any mistake. I mean.
So how would you engage in on the enemy?
I would just dive a target. I mean, a squishy one.
Okay, so you pick
I
your
mean,
target,
there is no.
your target,
Yeah,
you're
but
not diving in on it. Okay.
I don't know. It's hard if they don't make any mistake. It is hard, but I think that it is possible.
So how do you see the engagement unfolding?
I mean, if you get dived, then if you do, okay. Yours, okay. I mean, the Winston jumps, the Diva Matrix uses Matrix while and jumping with Winston, and Zarya is in the back, and she will give a bubble to whoever needs it, and together they will try to delete, for example, a Zenyatta or a Mercy, and then they will be able to go back after they get the kill. while Batisp and Zenyatta are able to make a lot of poke damage from behind.
Yeah,
That's how I
think
see
that's
it.
how I see it as well. Okay. What about you guys?
We're talking about Ghost versus Ghost. Like, I mean, some kind of Ghost matchup, right? Like, it's not like a dive against dive team or anything. Just Ghost versus Ghost.
If it's a dive team, then they won't rotate on the point. They'll just dive.
Yeah.
They won't even.
Because I don't feel like art engaging is really good as floats, as a monkey. Like, you get burst on instantly if there's a shit bash or anything. So, and I don't think it's worth it in general anyway. Especially on Nepal.
How do you see the Baptiste engaging on the enemy then? Or do you just want to wait for ultimates?
Yeah, I just rotate and wait for ultimates. Like, just put point pressure. And, yeah, like, they will be forced to make a decision to where they're going, and we capitalize on that. If they're starting to get split because they're like, well, are we going for the Batiste or are we going for the point, shit like that. Like, if they're starting to make mistakes because of that, we can capitalize on it. But if they're not like insisting glued together, you can't really do shit about it. So you just like start rotating and build so much from it, I guess.
Because what the kind of what I'm okay, I'll wait for Jig. How do you see the position unfolding?
Honestly, like, if you can have a good position with the Batis,
Check this out.
I think you can maybe hard pressure or maybe even hard engage if you sure to have the Batis who can heal the engage. So, like, I don't know. I didn't play Batis a lot, but I heard that he got a really high heal output.
What I'm talking about is how do you see the engagement? What I'm talking about is engagement, not try engagement, because I'm talking about when you first fight.
Yeah, I mean, I would play for ultimate, like just poking for someone.
So do you don't think that Zarya, Lucio, Baptiste, and Zen can provide quite a lot of shield pressure?
Of course.
Like, I don't think it can provide a lot of shit pressure, but I mean it depends about how much surge charge. But I don't think that's how we should like.
Check this out.
I mean, with the kind of floats, I don't know. No, I don't think it should be enough. But I don't think we should play for the shit pressure with that comp.
Nothing's gonna stop.
I mean, the thing is, like, with Winston, Diva and Zarya, like, I think you can pretty much just rush them and trying to just create space and just keep the point, and like Baptiste can pretty much.
Yeah, but that's not the trilogy we just talked about, was it?
Yeah.
So you were saying try and rush the point with Baptiste.
No. First you have to take this, but I mean, like, the thing is, like, I'm not sure that with that depends about the enemy comp, but yeah, I think the Winston can be just like instant kill, even if you have bubbles, and the Baptiste things, like, he can really like provide enough damage, I think.
So you don't want to engage and you don't want to do shield pressure.
Like, you can poke, but
So poke is the same.
I think we just should like try to let them push a bit, and when like the like imagine I'm in the enemy team, like we just let them push a bit, and like when the backline is a bit free, we can land the
Check this out.
diva and Winston in the backline. The Baptiste.
Trying to get those two, so what you're trying to do is push them in terms of like the range damage them to have to engage on you. Then you just blend as they're coming around this side, re-engage the back end of their line, which is usually obviously their supports. And that's where you apply your pressure.
So, problem is if they rotate point, backline is gonna be inside here.
No, if like look, if they're coming from where I am, like they just come like that. If they got drained, they're just gonna try to pressure point, and sometimes the Ana and the Zen or can stay here, you know. Like,
Is that if there's a go-to composition, and then if you took the point, you would just hide in here.
ah yeah.
That's basically why you cannot hard engage on that.
Right. That's right.
One thing that is good with floats with Batisp that Winston Diva, I don't think that they will be able to die if they dive and they make mistake because of the immortality field. I mean, if they're getting too deep, it won't matter because you got your immortality field. That's why I think that float is better than before. I mean, you could get punished without Batisp, but now you won't be able to die when you're diving your target. Well,
in general, you kind of don't want to be there. If it's floats v goats, it's just gonna be two teams trying to either take the high ground and then go point, or just die. Yeah, if they go point, yeah, they go into there. I like in general, teams wouldn't want to go to the point because like this is the superior positioning with floats, and that's where floats wants to be. So if you are forced onto the point in general, then that is the only place left to go for you, even if it's not the best place. So if the high ground is being fight over, let me turn down Overwatch sounds for a bit. So yeah, if it's high ground versus high ground, you can actually engage on backline with Winston. But yes, yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah, so as for this immortality field, it is not a trans level of help, of course, because that thing only has 200 HP and at least the teammates with 10 HP for 10%.
yeah, I personally use it more as an anti-dive tool on yourself, as it basically means that the Winston D.Va cannot just delete you. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, if a tank is engaging in the entire team, this immortality field isn't going to keep them alive for more than 2 seconds longer, maybe even 1 second longer. So it is not as much as a reliable tool. I mean, you would always use it, of course, but it is not a reliable tool. That's what I'm trying to get at.
If they're not going to engage on shouldn't engage unilaterally on the tanks. They're choosing one or the other. I'm trying to go through a situation with these guys so they understand what to expect in that situation, and that is the practice we use the immortality field where it's getting dived.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then in terms of the, does he want to be trying to do damage, or does he want to try to be
It is actually healing focused.
I think you can heal and shoot at the same time. Yeah, right. Is it possible?
You can like right click, left click, right click, but
Yeah? I'm coming. No, I can't, but like something like this, like. Yeah, but the thing is like you have to imagine the team is on the point and the enemy team is here. Like it's pretty much you have to. What? Sorry?
What we're talking about now,
Yeah.
fighting on the high ground. So
Yeah.
this
Oh, okay.
area
Yeah.
is the middle area. So what we're saying is that what we're trying to establish is
Time's up.
behavior what I'm trying to establish now is whether he should be focused on healing, or whether he should be trying to deal damage. So, and I think we've come to the conclusion that
yeah. You, as Baptiste, you are the only burst healer in the team,
Yeah.
so
Only
you
here,
are
yeah.
the one that is trying to save people.
I mean, you can try to just damage a bit the backlane, like 1 or 2 shots, but I think you should like focus on healing and be ready for the frisbee.
How much healing does right click do?
60 every 0.8 seconds.
That's a lot of fear.
It's the same as an Ana, basically.
But it's like an area.
and he can fire 4 shots, it's pretty quick. Pretty much that's enough to get 3 taggers.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, just the you engage on point. If they're on point, what are you doing?
We are doing some pressure from the high ground, and the main tanks can try to go to the point while they're getting support from Baptiste and Zinala.
What we're trying to do is they're on point.
Ah, if they're on point.
Full range damage to try and when they
So you are trying to force them to make mistakes? That's what you mean?
I think if they're playing any other competition, so you'll win.
Yeah, that's true. If you go Blizzard, you don't have any range.
Mm,
Got lots
yeah.
of heals as well. So.
Okay.
And then, okay, so Jig. The high ground battle, what happens?
If I what?
No, what happens on the high ground battle? Oh fuck.
What happened? Game lasted too long.
No, shut up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're at the end anyway. So what do we do with the high ground battle?
Like you use it for like you take it to get advantage.
Yeah, but how do you engage on it?
With the on the high ground, you mean the coast, like the
pillars.
Yeah, okay. Like we firstly like use the bubble for the wingstone when it's going in, and then we get the matrix and the Zarya will rush with the wingstone on that
Yeah,
high ground.
the main tank's called.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the three supports just what do they do?
Yeah.
What do they do?
The black Baptist can take the I don't know how we call that, but just the high ground. I was like it's
What do you
clear.
expect from the Baptiste? What do we agree from that you'd expect?
To spam the right click on us with the Winston Divasaria and using the file if needed, but
Yeah, wherever the enemy team retaliate, that's where the field goes. Yep.
I guess that's logical, to be honest.
Yep, I'm happy with that. The only reason I'm labouring the points is just because I want everyone to understand it.
Well, I mean, like, yeah. Like, I didn't input earlier, but I thought that it's much better to use it defensively than offensively.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's much easier for you to retaliate while it's up and, like, stabilize a bit than just, like, using offensively, wait, and you just wasted it and they can just free engage and wait for it to end up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just labouring the points because I want everyone to understand how and why we're doing things and to think rather than just me and Ink talk at you and then it doesn't get processed and it just same thing that's been happening over and over again, which is just wobble into enemy teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna make Foul go it watch it with me tomorrow. Because it's a lot of those things that we've talked over can be applied to a lot of the enemy competitions, a lot of engagements. It's just how you think and why you're doing things and why you're using abilities. It's like a game of chess. Alright. Is there anything anybody wants to go over from tonight before I stop streaming?
So we're gonna sign in to Overwatch Division. When are we gonna do that?
It's already done. But what I'll do is I'll need to see you scrim at least one more time before you join Open Division with us. So hopefully that'll be on Thursday. We'll see then, okay?
But I won't be able to play from tomorrow until.
What?
I won't be able to play from tomorrow until Saturday.
Saturday is when Open Division starts.
I know.
Oh my god. I suppose we can just keep
When does what's our the Open Division game start?
Saturday.
What is the hour?
It hasn't been drawn yet, so we don't know who we're playing against. It should be tonight that they draw it.
No, it's 1 p.m. European time.
Oh, it's CET.
So I can. So I think that I will be able to make it to Saturday. Maybe I will be able to come.
Alright, okay. We'll see how everything transpires then, okay? Well, I'll send you the Open Division link anyway so you can register, alright?
Alright, send me the link.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody wants to go over? and
Wait, I have a question. But is available on an open division? Is he playable or is banned?
Playable.
Yeah.
Playable once he is in competitive.
Which will be about, well, it'll be usually about a month, isn't it, or to 2 weeks. Can't remember how long it normally is. So it'll be during open division anyway. In all of the wisdom of fucking Blizzard.
Well, I don't think it's playable because usually the rules is like.
No, it's when competitive goes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
like next week.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 2 weeks and sometimes a little bit longer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks usually.
Unless it's something really broken. Okay, anything else? Alright, then thanks, Dan Runner. I'll just quickly talk over tonight with the rest of the guys, okay?
What did you say? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said thanks for everything, Runner. I'll talk to you later. I'm just going to go over a couple of things with the rest of the guys.
Okay.
Alright, see you later.
See ya.
Okay.
See you.